What's going on, guys? My name is James and this is Thieves 101, your weekly catch-up show on everything 100 Thieves. Feel free to grab a coffee because this week it's going to be a long one. Rumors have surfaced that 100 Thieves are re-entering Counter-Strike. Not only that, but we got some new news about the Call of Duty season. We have 2 new members who have confirmed that they are leaving our Valorant squad. 100 Thieves TFT had their regional finals this last week. And we had the grand finals of Marvel Rivals Esports going on in Atlanta. So let's see how 100 Thieves did. Let's start off with the rumors. 100 Thieves are rumored to come back to CSGO 2. Allegedly, their first signing is going to be Rain, former FaZe player, and they're planning to create a European core around Rain. This would be our first comeback into Counter-Strike after our 2020 exit. It would kind of explain why we left the League of Legends scene, but honestly we have so much history in League of Legends at this point, I would take back our League of Legends team in a heartbeat. But also I am happy if 100 Thieves enter a premier esport. Alright, next we have some news about the upcoming Call of Duty season. Major 1 is going to be hosted by Optic. Major 2 is hosted in the UK. The qualifiers will be a round robin with everyone, which I am excited for, and the bottom 2 will not make the tournament. Major 3 is probably going to be the tournament that I am most excited for, since it will be a 16-team pro amateur tournament. There will be 2 minor tournaments between Major 2 and 3 and between Major 3 and 4. 2 pretty big changes is that Control is out and Overload is in, which is a new game mode. And the Call of Duty League is back on Twitch, which we all celebrate. We are starting this next season on December 5th. Alright, now onto our Valorant squad. It is official, after Kess, Boostio, and Zix, EU and Xander have also announced that they are leaving 100 Thieves. I would say these ones are the first ones that actually make me pretty sad. Both of them seem like such cool guys and such promising youngsters. I really hope that they land on their feet in other teams. So, future James here. Since I recorded this part of the video, 100 Thieves has actually announced their new Valorant roster for the 2025-2026 season. So they keep Asuna for his 6th year, and they also keep Cryo. But not only that, but they sign the core of the recently disbanded TSM roster, Timotino and Vora. They get the former head coach of TSM, NBS, former Fnatic assistant coach Doombros, and the final addition to the squad is the comeback that we were all waiting for. Bang returns to 100 Thieves. I think this team has a really high ceiling, and I can't wait to see what they have to offer us. Alright, and now let's take our first bigger bite into what 100 Thieves has been up to. So all 4 100 Thieves members made it into the Americas Regionals Finals. It was a 68-person tournament where the top 6 made it into the Tactician's Crown, which is basically the international tournament of the TFT world. There was a play-in phase, 2 battle phases, 2 elimination phases, and then a grand final. Our only player that started in the play-in phase was Replay, who almost immediately made it into the week 1 battle phase. With that, all 4 of our players were in week 1 where only 60 players remained. Unfortunately, that is where we lost Replay, who went out in 36th place on the day, only 1 point from advancing. That also means that he didn't make it into the pro circuit, which might make things difficult for him in the future. He got 48th place overall. Now, the rest of our players confidently went through week 1, making it into the top 32. With week 2 starting, everybody survived the first round of knockouts, making it into the top 24, where unfortunately Spencer went out right on the cutoff line, getting 17th place on the day and 20th place overall, which still qualifies him for the pro circuit. Keon and Dishsoap were fighting for places in the grand final, and Dishsoap really seemed like he was going to make it as he was in 6th place. Unfortunately, Keon had a horrible round of 16, going out with 2 last places. That means he got 16th overall. But Dishsoap was hunting for grand finals, and he started great in his first game, winning the game. But his 4th place in the second game meant that he was 1 point off of grand finals, which means that he ends 9th overall. And that is it for 100 Thieves players for this set. I heard a lot of players complained about this set, so I wish better luck for our players in the next set of TFT. Alright, and now for the meat and potatoes of this video, Marvel Rivals Grand Final. So, we won our region, which meant we qualified in Group B. Our opponents would be FlyQuest, who were North America's 3rd seed and have been ramping up into this tournament. It was Navi, who was EU's 3rd seed. We might also have known them by Rad EU, who defeated us in the last LAN, which meant that we got 3rd place while they got 1st. Citadel, which was EU's 2nd seed, Crazy Raccoon, Asia's 1st seed, and OUG, China's 1st seed. 100 Thieves had a super rough group stage. EU and NA seemed like the regions to beat. The Thieves started out strong by beating OUG, but later that day we lost to Citadel in a close 2-1 fashion. We started the next day against Navi, who decisively beat us 2-0, and that is where I started to worry. We beat Crazy Raccoon later that day 2-0, but it doesn't really mean a lot if we win against the smaller regions when we can't take our games against the larger regions. Meanwhile, FlyQuest was cruising through the group phase, 5-0, beating us as well. It wasn't looking good for us, barely advancing out of our group with a 2-3 record. We had a week to get ourselves together for the playoffs. In the playoffs, we started off against the 1st seed of Group A, who was Virtus Pro. They cruised through group stage 5-0, but immediately it seemed like something changed in the 100 Thieves camp. We started playing some different comps that were working really well. Essentially, we started off the tournament playing front-to-back comps. It was pretty obvious that the dive comps were beating the front-to-back comps. We held our own against VP but lost narrowly, 2-1. That meant that we went into losers bracket, where we swiftly 3-0'd Reject. They were the 2nd seed of Asia. Once again, we looked so strong against a weaker region, but advancing meant that we had to face Citadel again, who we lost against in the group phase. To go to a dive comp was a difficult transition, but we also have some of the best duelists in the world. But we scraped by in a best of 5, winning 3-2. With that, we had 4th place guaranteed. But to match our best position, our 3rd place in China, we had to go through Navi. Navi also lost against Virtus Pro, and while we held our own against Navi, they just seemed on a slightly better level. Honestly, most EU teams seemed on a slightly higher level this tournament. Their teamwork was unmatched by our individual talent. And while we had multiple maps that we could have won, we didn't. That means that we finished 4th in the inaugural Marvel Rivals season. I think it's super cool to be one of the first comers to this amazing esport. I think the team had a little bit more potential, but we can't complain. With that, here are our placements for the first season of Marvel Rivals. In America's Stage 1, we got 2nd place. That qualified us for the mid-season finals, where we got 3rd. In Stage 2, we won our region, which qualified us for the grand finals, where we went out 4th place. We were definitely the most consistent team around the world, even if an international trophy evaded us. Let's see how this roster evolves and how Season 2 of Marvel Rival looks. We know that big teams like Sentinels are already leaving the esport, so what will 100 Thieves do? For any news on that, be sure to subscribe to this channel. And with that, we have caught up on everything 100 Thieves. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please feel free to comment. What are you guys looking forward to this season? Which esport do you guys enjoy the most? Leave a comment, leave a like, feel free to subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week on the next episode of Thieves 101. Goodbye.